Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Communications and reports, so we'll open up straight with old business. Lou, can we start with Town Hall?
The two offices are done, carpeting in, walls are all painted, sheetrock, tape. Going to be digging up taking up the tiles. As soon as the new tiles come in, they'll have work. We're going to be taking up the tiles in the hallway, in the community room, and then we're going to be retiling. The bathroom should be completed. The sheetrock is done, tape. Just the base has to be completed. So we're moving along fairly quickly, and I'll be repairing the urinal in the bathroom, or the new faucet for it. It seems to be it's caused the problem to begin with. So I think we're in fine shape so far. And I guess Thomas is coming this week and remove the computers from the other end and place them back into the two offices.
Yeah, we're actually here today.
When they were here today.
So can we get an ETA when these guys are finished?
I'm hoping that the tiles come in this week. They should be completed for next week.
So just for traffic and, business here in the town, can they come in like on a Thursday and close the business, rip tiles up, do the weekend?
I'm going to call them tomorrow to confirm that, because they said the tiles are going to be in sometime this week. So we'll see if we can get them to be done at the end of the week, or part of next week. Here, so I'm thinking that once that's completed, we have to do an inventory of all supplies that were damaged in the flood. If I'm not mistaken, they were placed out in the garage, George?
Yeah. And opening up all the boxes in the assessor's office today, like a lot of reams of paper and everything else. They had got a lot of moisture damage down to them and all crinkled up. So.
Well, once we do the inventory, that'll be given to the insurance company too.
So is there any way we can purchase supplies ahead of time and then?
Yes, I'll see what we need and repurchase them and we'll pick them up. I've been ordering everything from Granger, it's state contract, so same price. I'll just run over and pick up everything we have to have. Maybe sometime, George, you and I can get together and we can do a complete inventory, see what we actually need, and order everything at once.
Is it possible too if these guys can do a dry mop of the lobby, or a damp mop? I know I'm trying to keep it clean, but if you just maybe do a damp mop and see if we can pick up some of the additional footprints and stuff, it looks pretty messy out there. And we can get, maybe by the weekend, some supplies for Rebecca to start again.
I think she has most of the supplies for her. I don't think really got damaged. I know we still have the seat towels and.
Yeah, we got quite a few of those left. It wasn't totally damaged.
I mean, but the detergents and.
They're all good.
Yeah, they're all good.
And she could really give her a call whenever she needed a mouth.
concrete in there. So,
Well, that's what I'm hoping, maybe close the business, you know, when this, if we close town hall, except for maybe the planning board or something, but if they start ripping out on Thursday at 5 o'clock or something, and that gives the weekend for it to dry. I don't know how many days it needs to dry, and I don't know how many days we need to put down new tiles. Even if the tiles just went to the community room, and,
well, they can do that very quickly, the tiles, once they rip them up, these guys, they work, they don't have that many.
well, it wasn't done quality, but I mean, so yeah, if we could just try to work with these guys and get a completion date, that'd be great.
The vehicle in the back, I have enough time with that time for 5 days, so I'll work on that, see what it does, and see what we want to do with it.
Okay.
And if the state, the barracks has been completed, the problem, and we're gonna have to do that, so.
I don't have, we need to amend that resolution to go from 1,000 to 1,050.
Okay.
I don't have the amendment in front of me, so. So we can look at last month's,
For the door that they were repairing, so where, the lock is at, I just had to go ahead and replace it.
Can you go online and get last month's, I think it was last month's meeting minutes and see what resolution was that we passed to repair the roof, and we'll just amend that resolution. And I just want to confirm, reaffirm, Lou, that the painting of the barracks has got to be prevailing wage, so maybe we can get contact with the contractor and just confirm it.
Does that have to do with the ground wage? I thought we discussed this, but,
Any public works project on public property.
is there any amount limit on that?
If this guy is a sole proprietor, obviously he pays himself, whatever he makes. But if he has other people that work for him, then he pays them.
Okay. So then we're gonna have to rebid it. Just make sure it's prevailing wage.
Right. All right, anything else on barracks?
No, that's it.
Oh, maybe one last thing too.
I've got to replace some lights and some valves and especially
All right, the water runoff into the garage there, I think if we just get Dabs or somebody, maybe put a quick quote together or a request for quote. I think they just build up some and use some fabric there at the corner, the railroad ties, that'll flow the water away from the building and off the driveway. And that should save the garage, hopefully, being flooded every winter. Anything else, Lou, on?
I think that just about covered it. It went pretty fast there to start with, quick response, but it's slowed down quite a bit as we get into the finished product.
Highway, I will go let everybody speak. I spoke with Nick today, so I'll just give the update. He's working late on this job up in Sarasota, so we had a couple of complaints, one from Overlook Road, Overlook Lane, and then on Willow Run, those that crushed stone that Nick put down, or the county put down, is spreading all over the place. So Nick was going to call Joe Ryan and see if there's anything we could do about either compacting it a little further or scraping some of it off. Last Saturday, both Nick and I went up there and swept Willow Run a couple times, so that's the work in progress. On Overlook Lane there's some backup, and we need to get either Joe up there or Nick to do some work to relieve some of the water that's building up. And I asked Nick too to look into, and Joe, I think you have it, if you guys can pass down the highway budget went over by about 30%. So I've asked Nick, I think Carol's already reached out to or Ronnie, I'm not sure, to the county to understand why the cost went over by 30%, which is, in my mind, fairly significant. And I understand 10%, 20% we're pushing it, but 30%, pretty big number more your estimate by. So I've asked Nick to look into that, and, you know, the root cause really is going to be our, hopefully, the lesson learned, and what can we do next time to control the estimates a little bit better. If this is a regular outfit, you know, in my mind, it would be just, this is what you quoted, this is what you get paid. But we'll give Nick and a little time to work with Joe on that. And I have asked Nick to set aside some time to come in. As you know, he's put in his request for the budget, so, you know, we'll set aside an evening when he can come down and take some time off from work to sit with the board and talk about the budget. I think that's about all I have for Nick as far as highway goes. Any questions from anybody? All right, water department.
It's been a fairly quiet month. Went to power supply, some new radios went bad, so they had to put a new power supply in. And then when we're digging up, putting the water service in down here for 2,600 to Waynesburg Road, the corporation stop was never turned on in the main, so we dug it up and we found saddle tees there. We're actually looking in pretty good shape, where other ones were pretty well corroded away. So, our Doug Cole, myself, kind of thinking that, you know, corrosion probably isn't going as far as we think, or in some areas it's going to be pretty good on these straps and bands, where they look pretty good in these bolts. Tioga Construction was supposed to start rebuilding Birchwood Drive intersection this week. That's been put off for next week. So we moved the water line there, you know, 2-3 days of different varying shutdowns for either Birchwood Drive or a couple of people on Route 7 there for 2, 3, 4 hours.
All right. Just on that note, can you remind me, and I'll make a note here in case I forget. Can you remind me, and I'll ask Tim Bishop to put up an announcement on the homepage. Okay. Just that there's going to be.
So that letter and everything was going to send out, and then found out they changed their dates.
Sorry. That it?
That's about it, man.
Just probably a good time, I guess it's sort of water related. So we got the easement back from Mr. Hayden. Doug Cole has gone out and surveyed the creek, so I'm hoping, I need to call him and find out if he's going to be able to submit a better estimate, and that way we can submit it into NRCS. I really probably need to sit with the board one more time, and we may make a couple of risk decisions. One, we're probably going into, if the Farmer's Almanac is right, that we may have a long, cold winter, which we would probably advise not starting any project this year. And I need to work with the board because, again, we've been approved for so much money, both by NRCS and DEC on the initial estimate, but when Doug did his second estimate, we were up by 30%, which means the match that we were supposed to get, or 25% from the DEC, will not rise accordingly. That number is locked in, so there's a possibility that the town may need to come up with 15, 20 grand if we choose to continue to move forward with that. So, a couple of risk calls there we need to make. Is the town willing to absorb a 15 to 20K fee to repair the creek. Do we want to try starting it this year? Resources may be very tough next year. And so those are two really big decision points we need to, as a board, make an informed decision as much as possible. So I'll be getting George to give me a shout probably next week or so. I'll meet with Doug and Tom Lacko and then again and try and see what our options are. And then also we got the FEMA money, so we may be able to proceed straight off with that and fix at least the pump house piece of it. But it's something we call FEMA.
Well, I think Doug also was including the whole stretch behind the well house.
Yes.
So now we got the money for FEMA from behind the well house, so there's a couple hundred feet there that don't have to be put in the other estimates, which Doug was figuring out.
Yeah,
It might be closer back to what NRCS was saying.
yeah, as long as it's, obviously, and hopefully no cost to the town, that's the best option.
And I think also they said that the engineering fees, they were giving us that other, on top of that $197,000, they were paying engineering fees also for 15% or whatever it was.
Exact same percentage, yeah. Percentage would rise with that, yeah. And they sounded confident that they would pass if we wrote it up nice, but then again, it's got to go to Washington and it could sit for a long time. And I'm sorry, the third option for the board is we need to prepare to go to the bond. If the project extends, any longer than we want, or than we're hoping, if we'd gotten this started earlier, then we probably could have got it in within the summer window. But if not, if we need to fund the bond to the completion of the project, we need to consider that too, if we want to go that route. Again, NRCS is, once you start, it's on you. You need to completely finish 100% before they'll issue a check, and the same with DEC. So, 3 points to ponder. All right, any questions for George Meade? We're all good? All right, code enforcement. If I slow down.